Hello and welcome everybody to this week's episode of Corner Office Chats. I am your high performance coach, Alexis Lenehan, and with me is Mehreen Siddiqui, your other high performance coach. And today we want to talk to you about confidence and being a confident leader. And so today's title of today's episode is the Foolproof Method to Becoming a Confident Leader No Matter What. We get so many comments, questions, inquiries about confidence and how to find the confidence and keep the confidence, inside no matter what is thrown at you. So that is what we're talking about today.
Yes, and we've got five steps that you can start using immediately so you can start building your foolproof method of confidence leadership in no matter what you're dealing with. And let's get into the first one.
Yes,
the first one is, the redefine confidence for yourself. And I love what you always say, Alexis. It's not just about showing up with confidence. It's knowing that your ability to be able to figure it out. When we're feeling like things are coming at us no matter what. I mean, we're like, I don't even know what to do. But believing in the ability that you can figure it out, or you've got the support around you, or whatever it is, that in itself will give you the confidence that you can show up however it is that you want. You can easily say, Alexis, I've done this so many times, like, not really sure what I'm doing here today, but this is where we're going to start. You know what I mean? Because you may not be feeling confident about where you want to be. Maybe things are happening in your personal life. Maybe things are happening, at work that has you thrown off. So be open and vulnerable and say that I know that I have the ability to figure it out. Not feeling maybe the most confident, but I know we're going to get through this. So it's just redirecting how you're thinking and redefining what confidence really means to you.
Yeah, that is my favorite definition. And I know, for those of you that tune in all the time, you've definitely heard me say it before, but that was a game changer in my own confidence, because I always thought of confidence when you see people or hear people talk about confidence, it's like, oh, they're so sure of themselves. They seem so confident. And before my thought around confidence was that they knew what they were doing. They had it all figured out. And when I heard this new definition of confidence simply being the belief in your ability to figure things out, everything shifted. You don't have to always have the right thing to say or know the best thing to do, but you believe in yourself. Your surety comes not from what to do, but knowing that you'll figure out what to do. And that changed things drastically for me. So that's number one, guys. Redefine your definition of confidence.
Alexis, one of the challenges as women that we have, if you're a mother, if you want to talk about really challenging your confidence as a mother, have children.
Oh my goodness.
Have children. And knowing that you have the ability that they get fed, they sleep, they survive a day, that should give you the ability to have confidence of being a great mother. Because no matter what age, I've got 2 teenagers, and Alexis and I shared in the background, when the challenges come up and you're like, how do I deal with this? Like, what do I do? But the confidence that we bring is that the ability that we have this support. I can go to my husband, I can talk to your friend, I can do, and that's what we're going to be talking about next, is building that support team for yourself so that you know that you can have that structure in place so that it builds your confidence. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. So, whether you're a parent or even if you're a team leader, knowing that you have the team that's supporting you around you, or in whatever your vision is, that's going to help build your confidence. And for some of us, even as coaches, as ourselves, we have coaches for ourselves, right? Because we want to make sure that we have the support that we need when we're dealing with the uncertainty maybe that we have, or the confidence level, whether it's in our personal life or in our professional life. We have some type of support system in the background that's helping us when we're supporting others that are following us as well.
And that's the thing of it too, right? Is sometimes my ability to figure things out is asking Mehreen, right? Oh, there you are. Sometimes my ability to figure it out is to ask my own mom. Like, depending on what the situation is, you don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes Google has the answers that I'm looking for, but building that support team, and we talk about this all the time, is like team with like a capital T. It's not just your work team. It is, it includes them, but it also includes your partner if you have one. It includes your kids, it includes your community, includes your friends, it includes possibly a coach or a mentor, it includes a personal trainer. Like, it includes all these different people that can help support you in achieving and accomplishing what you're out to achieve and accomplish. So what kind of support team do you have around you, and are they helping you? Are they helping to lift you up and help to feed into that confidence, because you've got people behind you supporting you?
That's right. So the next one, the third thing that you want to know is how being focused on your emotional intelligence and self-awareness. This is hands down the most important thing that I would say that there is, because if you don't know where you're coming from or who you are as an individual, and you don't have that self-awareness around what your emotions are and why they show up or how to even deal with them, then how is it that you can serve others? I think I was working with a therapist at a time when I was dealing with grief with the loss of my mother. And one of the things she said to me, it's, you can't have other awareness until you have self-awareness. And I really took that to heart. I was like, really need to focus on myself in order to really affect others or to understand where others are coming from as well. And in order to be a really good leader, a leader that's effective, that's showing up and creating a culture where there's connection, there is commitment, that there's clarity, there's confidence, there's balance around it. It'll take having your own self-awareness so that you can understand where others are coming from as well.
Yeah. Emotional intelligence and self-awareness it's one of those things that nobody can do that for you except for yourself. So it has to be a commitment that you make to yourself to work on, to do the work, to whether that's journaling. We're big fans of assessment. We do nightly, weekly, monthly assessments to see, where are we at. But simply, even if you're just like, that is so far from where I am right now, it's simply asking yourself why and getting curious around the emotions that you have on a day-to-day basis. If you're at work and you're really frustrated by a colleague or a coworker, instead of just sitting in that frustration or sitting in that annoyance, saying, why is that triggering that feeling in me? What is it, right? Sometimes it's because they're doing something that we wish we were doing, right? They spoke up in the meeting, and instead of just rolling your eyes and saying, oh, there she goes again, it's like, we're annoyed because we wish we had the guts to say that, right? It's not always just people are, doing things and we just don't like it. A lot of those negative emotions comes from at least a part of, we want to be doing that, or it could come from our past, right? Somebody of influence doing or saying something, and that's reminding and bringing us back to that memory. And so the emotions that we have isn't directed at that person, it's directed at our mom from 20 years ago, or our brother or sister, or whatever the case may be, right? But this takes work, and unfortunately you're the only one that can do this isn't something that you're going to get from somebody else, but focusing on how you feel that way. And once you start looking inwards and you're thinking, I see this other coach posting, and I'm all of a sudden like, who does she think she is, posting these videos? And then I get curious, and I'm like, why do I feel that way? And then I realize I wish I had the guts to do that. I've been trying to do it, and I don't, that confidence isn't there, or whatever the case might be. Then you start to, once you're self-aware, like you said, Mehreen, you start to then see that in other people. When other people are experiencing negative emotions, instead of just being like, well, they're overreacting, you start to think, I wonder if they're dealing with something. I wonder if everything's okay at home. I wonder, if that triggered something for them. And you start to develop that compassion, empathy, and understanding for others when you better understand yourself.
Yeah. For example, my manager and I were talking about a team member, and what we felt as though that the person was being very protective over their information that they have, and they would only share so much. And he was saying, like, well, I understand that why she, it's great that she's taking ownership, but why is she being so productive, and why is she feeling? And I said to him, I was like, I think she's feeling insecure. There's a lot of changes that are happening. We're asking a lot of questions, and before she was just handling it, and now we're digging in, and we want to change our methodology of how we are implementing our strategy. So it has her feeling insecure. So she's becoming a little bit more protective of the information, or maybe she feels that we're going to be taking it away. So let me have a conversation with her to see where she's coming from, and maybe get her aligned on the vision that we're going, and get her input. Because how people are reacting is just the way that they're reacting because of whatever they're feeling, right? Mm-hmm. But when I become emotionally intelligent about who I am, and then how I can serve others and support them, then I can see that maybe, just maybe, because I know that we're doing things different, this is having an effect on that person, and that's why they're reacting or being or behaving in such a way. So what can I do as a leader to help them feel that comfort and the confidence, so that they don't feel as though they need to be insecure or protective over their information, if that makes sense at all.
That's a great point, Mehreen. And the last thing I want to add to this point before we go into number 4 is that when you become more emotionally intelligent and self-aware with yourself, you recognize those days where you've got something going on. And here's never one to say, just pretend that it's not there, just fake it till you make it, just push through. When you start to sort of really dig in and do that deep work and understanding, you got a presentation, or you got a meeting that you're supposed to be in, and for whatever's going on in your personal life, or maybe just with you, you're so in tune that you're like, you know what? Today, I'm just not able to show up as my best self. I'm going to reschedule this meeting. No one's going to die if I cancel this meeting. No one's really probably they're going to be happy that we're rescheduling, because they probably have too many on their plate anyways. But understanding when it's because I find too, that's when a lot of things happen. Like, think back in like school, if you had to do a presentation and you weren't feeling great or you weren't prepared, then you did a bad job, and then you came down on yourself, you lost your confidence. The next time, even though you were prepared, you've lost that confidence because you didn't do a great job the last time. So when you really understand yourself, it's quicker and easier for you to say, do you know what? I need to reschedule this call. I need to reschedule this presentation. Today's just not going to work, right? And you get more in tune with that, and then you reschedule it for a couple days or the next week or whenever it might be. And it's a better day. You're feeling good. You deliver the presentation with excellence, and your confidence continues to rise.
Yes, this is a perfect segue into number 4. Invest in your skill set. Right? We all know that when we're going up against new things in whatever it is that we're endeavoring, whether it's taking a family trip, or maybe it's something at work that you're trying out a new way of doing strategy, whatever it is. But you'll know that there's a skill set that either you're lacking in your group, so you may need to hire someone. So you would need to invest in a consultant or another employee that may have that skill set that you're looking for, or for yourself that you want to develop your leadership skills, for example, or strategy skills, or whatever those things are for yourself. But invest in them, invest in that skill set, so that it takes you can leverage and take you to that next level. It'll build your confidence, because you know that you're trying new things, you're learning about it. It may not be something that you want to carry on, but you're at least getting educated on it enough that you could pass it on to someone as well.
Yeah. And perfect. We didn't even think of this in the planning, that, how well these two are going to go together, is that there are going to be things we're not good at, especially when we're moving up, when we're doing the work and we're hitting these new levels. And we love that saying, new level, new devil. There's going to be things that, you're at the top of your game here, but then you go to the next level, and now there's some new stuff up here that you don't know, you don't have experience with, because now you're at a new level. Now you have to change the way you were doing things, possibly add things in, take things away. And investing in yourself is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Mm-hmm. Recognizing when you're more emotionally and self-aware, the areas of weakness. So like Mehreen said, you might want to hire a coach. If you are trying to get more self-awareness at this level, and you're finding that you need the accountability, or you need the you need the support in that area. It could be technical. You might just be like, I need to, up my PowerPoint, creating skills, and you take an online course. You take the time, whether that's an investment of your time, your money, your effort, and you recognize those areas that you need to improve, and you do what you need to in order to do that. So key. And I think that's the game changer for a lot of people, going from that, that good, like that good to great, that good level. You are successful, you are doing the things, but there's that next level. When you start investing in yourself and investing in your skill set, you're going to see that you're going to make those leaps even quicker.
Yes. And lastly, number 5 is bring optimism and have a sense of humor. This is so important. And this has probably been my key to success. Is people always say, you're always so optimistic. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? If something doesn't go the way it needs to go, then we learn from it and we go another way. And yes, there's frustration. There's when changes are happening in an organization or in your life or whatever, it can really beat you down. But if you can be optimistic, bring optimism to it and focus on the silver lining, or focus on, the goods that are coming out of it, then it'll give you that extra motivation you need, to go. And look, if we're not having fun, and having a sense of humor about things, then what is life? I don't want it to be blah, humbug, all this stuff, whatever. But I want to have fun while we're doing it. When I know one thing, that whenever I'm doing these corner office chats with Alexis, I'm having fun. When I'm doing it by myself, I'm kind of like, just having a conversation with a camera. I don't know who's receiving it at the other end, but having it with Alexis brings a little bit of that fun and optimism, and the other part of me that drives me, that motivates me, and being in tune with that. That's my own self-awareness that I have. So know that about yourself as well.
Yeah. And we're not talking just like blind optimism or like extreme optimism. Sometimes you have to get really realistic. But, when you have just that mindset of, you are looking for the best case scenario, or you're going into it with that sense of things will be okay no matter what the outcome is. We'll work through it. If it doesn't go as planned, we'll be able to get through it together. Whatever that looks like for the situation you're thinking of, it's like it's having that optimism, because hey, if things are going to flop, they're going to flop, right? You can either be stressed, not been able to sleep, sick to your stomach, and you can have that experience as it flops, or you can say, you know what, it might flop. If it does, we're going to learn a lesson, and we're going to do better next time. Yeah. But let's hope that it doesn't, right? And then that's the mindset you go through. And even if it does, that whole lead up, the week, the month, the 6 months, whatever time that was, you were spent in a much better, more positive place, mentally, emotionally, physically. That's going to add to your performance versus operating from the stressed out, frustrated, worried, scared, fear, driven mode. You're not going to be operating at your peak performance. And you know what? A sense of humor, like, newsflash, we are going to fail. We are going to screw up. We are going to make mistakes. If we can't laugh at ourselves, if we can't laugh at the situation sometimes that we find ourselves in, like Mehreen said, what is the point, right? It's what creates life is all of the experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. But when we can look back and kind of laugh at ourselves, laugh at the situation, it's such a different experience, when you're looking back at the collective experience. So this is probably one of my favorite ones, because I think, you and I think sometimes we need to, we bring so much sense, so much humor into it. Sometimes we
just need a good laugh. Yeah.
But
yes.
Yeah, and that pours out into all different aspects of your life.
Absolutely. So today we talked about 5 methodologies that you can start using so that you can foolproof your confidence as a leader, no matter what you're hit with. And just to recap, we talked about making sure that you redefine confidence and what that means truly to you, making sure that you build your support team, whether it's for yourself or for your team that they need, and then focusing on emotional intelligence and self-awareness so that you're also building other awareness. And then making sure you're investing in your skill set while bringing optimism and sense of humor. So comment below. Let us know what you thought about today's topic today about being a confident leader and having that vision of what it looks like to be confident. We'd like to hear how it maybe impacted you today from what you learned today. Or if there's something that you think that has helped you to be a confident leader, share with us what that was for you so that we can share it with other people who are listening in as well. And that concludes today's session episode on the foolproof method of being a confident leader no matter what. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place, on Thursday at 1:30 Eastern, live here on Facebook. We'll see you then.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.